this is something that I learned so much, and I just kept learning and learning. So actually, my first job as actually doing SEO, I didn't know much about it, but they gave me the job anyways. So there was a lot of Googling going on, right? But it was great. I learned so much, and when you do SEO, it's almost like you turn into a detective, right? So you just keep digging, you keep investigating, and I do feel curiosity is something that you should always have in this type of job. So I just kept, like learning new things, finding out new things. And it was great. So from there, I went to Golf Channel. I spent 8 years there. I knew nothing about golf. It was actually very funny because my interview, I was like, oh my God, I hope they don't ask me what a birdie is. Because I didn't know what that meant. So it was actually, it was so funny because I looked back, I was like, oh my God, that's so funny, so silly. But I learned a whole deal about the sport. I'm still not a great golfer, but I enjoy trying. I enjoy seeing the effort that these people have to do to actually be part of golf. Like to make it as a professional golfer, they go through a lot. So it's just fascinating to see how driven they have to be. And how hard they have to work to actually make it to the PGA Tour. So it was a great experience, being part of that. And then I went to another company called Market Traders Institute, where I also learned a lot about a different industry. I feel like it's always good to be in marketing because you get to dabble on so many different industries because they all need marketing, right? So you get to learn a lot about different industries, um, interact with different people. And then I landed here at the law firm. So when they reached out to me, they were like, "Oh, we need to find someone to help us market the law firm," and they do criminal law. So I thought to myself, well, that is definitely interesting. I never thought about marketing a law firm, but I'm in for it. It would be a great experience for me personally and professionally because coming from big companies and working for a small business, it's obviously a different set of experiences, and you get to do local marketing, which I had never had a chance to do. So it was a new challenge. I love a good challenge. Um, so I started again researching, learning, testing, and here I am. I have been here for 2 years and a few months. So it has definitely been an exciting ride.
Well, you told me that you had been responsible for quite a bit of growth, and we'll get to that in a minute. But along the way, you probably tripped and had some issues with things that didn't work. Let's let's start off with some of the difficult things you found in your marketing journey. What's your greatest failure story? What'd you learn?
So I would say that probably my greatest failure would be trying to please everyone, or trying to think that I'm invincible, right? Because we all, first of all, we all make mistakes. Things don't always turn out the way you wanted them to turn out, but you have to forgive yourself, right? So when something doesn't work out and you try, it's okay, right? Like failing is part of learning. And if you don't fail, you don't learn, right? Like if you're always winning, then there's no learning experience for you.
Yeah.
And so it's important to first of all, I feel like learning that when you are in a professional environment, a title doesn't define who you are as a person, right? And I feel like that is a hard lesson to learn, right? Like you should be defined personally, by the way you treat people, the way you interact with others, right? Regardless of your position in a company, you should always be compassionate. You should be caring. You should be respectful. So I feel like for me has been, you know, that, right? Like not trying to please everyone by being a good employer, by being a good boss. You always have to do what is right for you and for others. So I feel like that's really what I have learned from that, right?
It sounds like you walked through the refiner's fire. You came through it pretty well. You came out a better person because you were under the stresses of trying to please people, and you learn
Hmm.
not to have to be everything to everybody. What about other people? You see them as a marketing person in companies, you see them fail. What have they done that got them to the place that was not working for them and you were able to rescue them?
Um, I would say it's a lot of dealing with people, right? And so like wherever you are, marketing, finance, anything that you do, you have to learn to deal with people, right? So I feel like we all have different personalities. We all have things that we're going through. Everyone's going through something. So I feel like when people have a bad day, let's say, right? I remember an instance where we were having a team meeting and one of our team members got upset and left, right? Like he just left the meeting. So it's one of those things like, all right, so you have to approach the person like, why do you leave the meeting, right? And talking, I feel like communication is so important and giving people a chance to express their feelings. So it's important to allow people to talk. Most like oftentimes when people are upset, it's because they're not being heard. So like giving people a chance to talk, I think is important. If someone feels at peace and at ease at a company, they will be more likely to do a good job. So I would say that would be um, one of the reasons why I think people fail, right? Like they fail to communicate, and maybe because they don't feel heard. So it's just a communication issue right there. The other thing I feel is admitting that when you want to try something new, that there is always a 50-50 chance that it may or may not work. And that's, I would say that's why marketing is so exciting, right? Because you have a theory and you want to test it and prove to see if it, like, hopefully it works. But it's just a guess, right? Like you think that based on your research something's going to go a certain way, so then you go to try it. So I feel like uh, perhaps some people fail because they fail to realize that there is a chance that they may fail, or they have a big ego that is preventing them from accepting that they fail.
You know, you
Um,
gave you gave some really good answers, and I really did identify with the first one so well. I, as a dentist, would interview my patients, and one of the things that would happen is when a new patient comes in, I would always interview them and listen to them tell their story.
yeah.
And the greatest successes I had were with the people that we went through that process with. And they always told me, nobody's ever listened to me before. They've
Hmm.
always just told me what I needed. They didn't listen to what I wanted, why I wanted what I want. And as a professional, you do need to listen before you actually write a prescription, in other words.
Yeah, yeah, it's absolutely true. You have to listen anywhere you are, right? Any profession, you have to listen to what the other person has to say.
Any other thing about why people fail?
Uh, Let me see what else. So I said communication, maybe big egos. Um, I would say that also people fail because they don't look for help, right? Like people sometimes think that, and I have been guilty of this as well, you can do it all. And that is not true. So, for example, like if you have a team of people, you should rely on them. Being part of the team requires people having different skill sets. So it's always looking to see how you can complement one another. Also, a lot of times leaders fail to delegate because they don't want to give up control. But the truth is that if you hire someone, you hire them because you saw something in them that would be helpful to the business, to the company, to the team. So allowing them to actually shine in their own and trusting them, I think it's a lot of times why it fails, because for the leader it's a lot that, sometimes they cannot handle it. And so things get out of control. And I feel like that is also detrimental for the employees, because they don't feel that they can be trusted, and that they're being micromanaged. So I feel like that's also why some people fail.
Seems to me like you've been laying down gems right and left. People should be picking them up. Your wisdom is showing early here, and I'm glad to know we're on track. Give us a little insight. What motivates you internally, Margarita?
Ooh, what motivates me internally? So I feel like I have always been um, driven by wanting to do the best, right? I feel like since I was little, I have seen my parents be very driven. So I feel like that's something that I have inherited from them. My sister, who is also a dentist, she is, I would say, she's an overachiever. So I have seen her wanting to be the best that she can be. So she has been a great person to watch. So I feel like for me, I want to do better. I want to do better every time. I want to see results. Being in digital marketing allows me to see that, right? Because you can actually see the performance, you can measure everything. Um, so that motivates me, being able to see the results each day, and not necessarily comparing myself to anybody, because we're all different, but comparing myself with who I was yesterday or what I did yesterday. So I feel like I just want to do better. And obviously I have an 8-year-old son. So I want to set a good example for him as well.
Yeah, I can identify with your sister being an overachiever. I was the firstborn of 5 boys, so I
Uh,
always felt like I had to be in charge.
yeah, yeah.
What is your company motto at the law firm?
So we want to have affordable and aggressive defense for everyone. So obviously, when you are accused of a crime, is not something that anyone plans for or anyone wants to be in that. And we know it's a difficult situation for those who are unfortunately going through it. So we want to make sure that we are able to help them, and at an affordable price, because you don't plan for that. It's not like you have money saved up, like, oh, when I get arrested, right? So like nobody does like plans for that. It's just an unfortunate situation that could happen to anybody. So we just want to have that. We want to have affordable and aggressive defense for everyone.
How about the secret sauce? What does the law firm do, and maybe what do you do in marketing that is going to create success for your company?
I think that a lot of that goes in being consistent, right? Like everything that you do a little bit every day, that adds up over time. I think that listening to our clients, researching what the needs are for them, being compassionate, I would say is something that is so important, especially in this type of business that we do. Um, and just like that, understanding that we are all humans. We make mistakes, not judging our clients for what they did or didn't do, and just helping them and making sure that we are fair with them.
Why would somebody choose your law firm?
So they should choose it because our attorneys are very, very good, right? Like they have gotten some amazing results for our clients. They fight hard for our clients. We have payment plans. So, like I was saying before, no one plans to get in trouble with the law. It's not something that it just like you're saving for that. So we understand that people need payment plans, right? So we offer good representation with the ability to pay. And we're available 24/7. So if anyone needs to speak with an attorney, they're there for them.
There is no insurance plan you can buy to protect your cost either.
No.
What about your ideal client? What type of client do you prefer?
Well, we anyone that needs help with a criminal case in the state of Florida, because right now we're only practicing in the state of Florida. We also do immigration and family law. So anyone that needs help with a family matter, or anyone that wants to legalize their status or bring someone to the United States, we can help them with that.
Okay. Getting those visas and things.
Yes.
What about your specific work? How do you go about finding the clients? You're the marketer.
Yes, I am the marketer. So I feel like for this specific type of law, um, it's Google search, right? Like people search when you're in trouble, you go to the internet and you search, right? Like it's not obviously all types of marketing help, but at the end of the day, is the most effective way for us is to be found on the search engine. So that is how most people search for us.
PI attorneys are on billboards, and you guys are in the Google search.
Yes. Yes, but we actually do have a few billboards because you want to have that, obviously, right? Like you want to have brand exposure, you want to have recognition. But at the end of the day, people search for a criminal defense lawyer online.
You know, an interesting historical tidbit is that it was the legal profession who broke the um, ban on advertising for professionals. And when I got in dentistry back in 1975, we could not advertise except for 3-inch high letters on a small sign. We couldn't put anything in the ads in the yellow pages. We
Yeah.
couldn't do TV, radio, and it was a legal profession who broke down the barriers of the FTC to allow professionals to actually advertise. So thank you to the
Wow.
lawyers of the world, allowing us
Wow.
to become known as dentists.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your well-defined product? You represent clients. Is there a product that you actually present to them?
So I would say because there is such a wide array of different cases and crimes that someone could be charged with. It's more about offering them a very good representation from our attorneys. So there's not one thing that we say we do. We just offer legal services. It doesn't have to be, you know, a big crime. It doesn't have to be a small crime. It's just everything that anyone needs defense against. That's what we do.
Mostly billable by hours, or is there a package deals for some things?
No. So
This
actually, for criminal law, there's no billable hours. It's not like they do it in family law. It's mostly a set price for the depending on the severity of the crime.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good information. Probably the general public has never faced that issue.
Heard of that? Yeah.
Consider how do you do that? Um, 5-star client experience. Give me 1 or 2 points.
I would say communication is key, right? Telling them what is going on with their case because it's people that come to us, they're in a very difficult situation. So making sure that they are aware of what's going on with the process that they're experiencing is obviously very important. Our attorneys go above and beyond getting the discovery, any evidence, handling the depositions to make sure that they get as much information as they can to craft a good defense strategy for the clients. So I would say that combining those two things and being in communication with the client, letting them know what the attorney is doing behind the scenes is very important. And again, being compassionate, right? Like it's not a good experience or situation to be part of. So making sure that, like we understand what they're going through and helping them the best that we can.
So I can see guys sitting around in the jail waiting on their attorneys to come. Other attorneys don't show up. Your guys show up. So they get some good vibes speaking among the other people that are incarcerated. That's one kind of word of mouth advertising. But you probably rely on brand ambassadors out there who can feed the funnel of clients. How do you create the brand ambassador group that kind of shows people how to get to you?
Yeah, so obviously we know that the best form of advertising is word of mouth, right? People that have already experienced your services, uh, being advocates for the brand. So in our case, we do get a lot of referrals from clients. So I think that the way you convert a client into a brand ambassador is by giving them a good service, giving them a good experience, making sure that they feel they're taken care of. That's the best way to actually create brand ambassadors. Unfortunately, for me as a marketer, right, I can go and give them a product or something to wear or experience because that's not what we offer. But what we can do is give them a good experience when they are our clients, so that if they ever have someone that may need our help, they can say like, I know exactly who you need to call in the situation. And so I feel like that's the best way that in our case we can create brand ambassadors.
Being known around the community as the people who
Hmm.
compassionate, helpful, and trustworthy.
Yeah, no, and that's actually a very good point. We also try to get involved in the community, helping those who are less fortunate. We have done a few events locally with shelters, where we go and we help. We do Halloween parties for the kids, of the people that are in the shelter. We bring our attorneys so that they can ask questions. A lot of these people don't have availability financially to hire an attorney. So at least giving them the guidance on what they should do in their specific situation. So it's little things, right? But you know, try to help where we can.
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate to be in that situation where they need your help. Tell me
Mhm.
what you personally are grateful for today.
Ooh, I'm grateful for, I would say, start with my health, right? Because health, you can't really do all the other things that you have. I am grateful for my job. I'm grateful for being motivated. I don't know. It's just like I want to come to work and do something great. So I'm grateful, obviously, for my family, for the experiences that I have had, good and bad, because they made me who I am today. Right? Without all of those experiences, I wouldn't be the person that I am right now.
Well, you had some goals when you joined the law firm and you saw the scope of it, the size of it. Give us a little
Mhm.
picture of what you've achieved and how did you achieve that goal?
Sure. So when I started with the law firm, we had four attorneys, one paralegal. Um, 2 years later, we are going on our 14th attorney. We have four paralegals and we have a whole team of answering receptionists. So I would say that for me, it's obviously making the law firm one of the biggest, if not the biggest, criminal defense law firms in the state of Florida, and hopefully expand to other states. I would say that's my goal and our goal as a whole. To achieve that, obviously, you have to do little by little, right? Like opening new branches little by little, doing the research, making sure that you have a plan of business that fits with the area where you're trying to expand to. Um, Researching the competition, obviously, right? Seeing how you can do things better every day, getting feedback from clients. So I'll say there's a lot of moving pieces that go into it, but that's what makes it fascinating, to actually be part of something that can be bigger. So that's what's exciting about this.
I think people's ears perked up a little bit when you mentioned you went from 2 to 14 attorneys, a
Hmm.
sevenfold growth in 2 years. That's
Yeah.
outrageously successful. So good luck with the
Hmm.
continued growth. I know that they have got a superstar marketer in their
Oh,
midst
thanks.
when you're doing that. That's impressive. Uh, we grew our company from 1 to 4 dentists, and we were already in the top 1% of America when we did that. And so I can imagine attorneys growing from 2 to 14. Got to be some good numbers. good service too.
Mhm.
Is there a usefulness for you and your company when you're advertising and marketing to use paid digital media? Do you guys put out any effort in the Facebook, Google, LinkedIn?
Yeah, so for us, obviously, Google is a great source of leads. We also do some stuff. I wouldn't say a lot with social media. Social media is more of a way to create brand awareness. It doesn't always translate into direct leads, which makes sense. It's a different platform. Google is more of a direct, I need something, I'm going to search for it now. Um, for us, LinkedIn ads, we haven't really used because we don't do business to business services. But for someone that obviously has a service or a product that would benefit another business, then I would definitely say that that's the place to go.
Yeah, if you're doing LinkedIn, you're doing business with white collar criminals, I'm sure.
That's not a bad idea.
What about your percentage of revenue you
Mhm.
recommend people spend to grow their business using paid digital media?
I would say that for me, it's hard to say, give a number. Um, it would depend on the type of business, right? And always look at your return on investments. If you're actually getting more than what you spent, I would say that is good that you do it. To give you an exact percentage of the revenue, I would say that I will need to look at all the numbers.
Yeah, and it's different for golf versus law too, or
Yeah,
dentistry. What
yeah,
about
most
your
definitely.
advice? You know, you're looking back at your young self getting started. What would you tell your 20-year-old self to do? Anything different, or
Sorry. I would probably say to not be so hard on myself, that it's okay to make mistakes, to keep striving to be the best that I can be in what I'm doing, and to listen to those who want to give me advice. Right? Like just listen to them. There's something to learn. You don't have to take everything um, that people say to you or do. You just have to take what thing makes sense to you, and not to
sounds
take things
good?
personally. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
sounds good. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Do you have a living mentor, somebody that has impacted your life?
I would say that I have many, right? Like the way I like to look at my interactions with people is that whether they have been good or bad, bad interactions with others can also give you learning experiences. And they could also be your mentors because you don't want to do or act the way they acted towards you. So I would say I have several. I would say my sister, the dentist, she's a great mentor to me because she has always taught me to just be dedicated to do the best that I can do with whatever that I'm doing. My dad, he has always been so driven and dedicated. My dad was a sergeant in the Colombian police, so he had to like go through some difficult task, and I always see him like he's always happy, always in a good mood. So I feel like I have had a lot of great mentors in my life, but I also feel like people that have maybe not been so kind to you are great mentors to you because you know how they make you feel, and you need to make sure that you don't ever make anyone feel that way. So
I like that. Your dad being a policeman, that's pretty powerful stuff. Every day wondering if he's going to come home with
mhm.
dealing with dangerous situations. So it's got to be something that you're very close to law enforcement. Tell me
Yeah.
about being impactful. Why is it important for you to be impactful to those around you?
So I feel like it's important because you want to empower people. You want to encourage people. So for me, being impactful is giving people the um, what's the word I'm looking for? Giving them their, I don't know, like helping with their self esteem, helping them know that they can do and should do anything that they want, right? Like there are no limits. We are the only ones that limit ourselves and the things that we do. So I like to encourage, that's what I was looking for. I like to encourage people to do more or be happy, do the things that they enjoy doing.
All right, I like that. What about your personal wish? How would you like to be remembered when it's all said and done?
Hmm. That is a hard one. I would like to be remembered as someone who never gave up, who is driven, who likes to have fun, and likes to help other people.
Well, if you're from Colombia, I know you know how to have fun.
Yes, we do know how to have fun.
It's a great country, great people. I know many
Thank you.
friends from Colombia. How do you want us to find you to be able to connect with you?
So you guys can find me on LinkedIn. I'm my name Margarita Grisales. You can find me there. For the law firm, we are smitheulo.com. And we do criminal defense, family law, and immigration in the state of Florida. So if everyone, someone here needs help in any of those areas of law, they can they can find us, and we will be able to help you. Hopefully, so.
Excellent. Well, if you're in need, I'm so sorry, but I think you're in good
Yeah.
hands, at least if you can find the need to get to criminal defense. Margarita's firm, very successful and very compassionate. So what more could you want? Tell me about your experience on our show today, Margarita.
I think it has been great. I really appreciate you having me in the show, Bill. This has been an awesome experience, and I really am humbled by you reaching out to me to talk to me. So I appreciate it.
We enjoy having influencers of all types, and you certainly have lit us up with a smile and some insights to things we did not know. So hopefully we will not have to find out more, but if we do, we will call. What would
Absolutely,
you?
and there's no judgment if you do call.
Thank you. What? So you go ahead and give us a final word, then I'll come back in a minute and spend some time with closing out the show. Go ahead with your final word to the audience.
My final word would be to always follow your dreams, never give up. There's always hiccups in life, and it's just about learning from those experiences and getting back up and doing what makes you happy. Life is about learning and being happy.
There you have it, Margarita Grisales from the marketer for the law firm in Florida. We're so glad you came with us today to share your wisdom. I'm very impressed with your business acumen as a marketer. You have a great understanding of people, and that's obvious. So thank you for doing that. As we close out the show, I want to tell everybody that you can capture your freedom. Maybe that's appropriate when talking about criminal law. Capture your freedom by going to this QR code up above, because that will set you on to the path to find out more about the Influencer Podcast. It goes to my business card. If you want to just write the word down, ovu.me/onpassive, you will find out access to all the Influencer Podcasts we've done, our books that I've written, and also you'll find out about the other side of what I'm doing, which will be the Influencer Podcast, drbillwilliams.tv, and the AI technology, rather. AI technology is taken over, and I've got some interesting things for you to look at, Margarita, in terms of connecting with the world. Suppose you had a bilingual situation and it wasn't one that was one of your languages. Well, OConnect can connect you to your language with another language, simultaneous translation. And so as we go forward, if you've got a Russian client, you could converse with them face to face, a Chinese client face to face, not just Spanish, which you're very fluent in, not just English, which you're very fluent in, but maybe 50 languages. So OConnect is a product that will be web conferencing, one-on-one secure connection that your attorneys could converse with anyone, not just those who speak the native languages. So very interesting comment there. And the final thing I want to mention is the O Tracker. If you're a marketer, you would have this as one of your must go to analytical devices. It's like Google Analytics, but much better and much cheaper. So for those people who are looking to look at website success, whether it's working, we have heat maps, we have tracking through the website to see where people go, all the standard things, but then many more things within the O Tracker that a lot of analytics packages do not have. So these are things that we do, and I'm real pleased to share that with the audience, particularly the legal audience who may be wanting to evaluate their website performance. Margarita, thanks for being with us again, and I'm looking forward to having no contact with you professionally.
Absolutely.
But
thank you so much for having me.
If I had a friend, I would refer them to you any minute.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're like a porcupine. Everybody wants to stand and look, but they don't want to touch, right?
That's right. Exactly.
All right, guys. Thank you for being on the Influencer Podcast all around the world, 200 countries watching in every day. And we will see you on the next broadcast in just a little while. Take care and good night, good evening, and good morning, wherever you are.
Bye.